Hello, welcome everyone. Please come in. Yes, what a monumentous day we have. Yes, this is the end of season one where everyone is now going to get brainwashed and follow my agenda. Yes, yes. Welcome to the LuxFit Elixir. My name is Pat Savage. This is it. It's time to finally start talking about Elixir. What is an elixir? It has lots of definitions actually, but let's actually just take it straight to what did it mean to me that made me want to use the word elixir in this podcast, in my business. Funny enough, it's from a video game series. When I was really young, I must have been 9 or 10. My older sister got a video game, and whenever she wasn't playing it, I obsessively played it. And one of the items in the game was called an elixir. And the general idea of it was that it healed you of all your ailments. And, oh, my character is damaged. Bloop, 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 bloop. Healed. It's kind of like a cure-all. And surely the creators of this game got this from the old alchemy term of elixir, which was a cure-all, or something like turning things into gold. Fuck, should I look this up real quick? Nah, I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. Turning base metals into gold, which is not doable, I think. Man, I swear I prepared for this. Just not that exact thing. I'm getting tangential. Point is, an elixir is this fantastical potion, right? Magical medicine that fixes everything. One chug, boom, back to full health. In the real world, that simply does not exist. So what is the realistic definition of an elixir to me? I love the concept of an elixir, and from that age it really just continued to fascinate me. I sort of thought about it all the time. I kept trying to basically create this meeting place between all these fantasy worlds I was reading about or playing games with and what I was actually living in reality, waking up for school every day, playing sports, playing Manhunt with my friends at night. Since you can't have this potion that is a cure-all, what could it be? Well, the answer that I've come up with over all these years is that there is no answer. The whole point is that we're constantly changing out ingredients in our elixir, and knowingly or unknowingly, as soon as you wake up every day, your brain turns on, you're taking down some version of an elixir in my eyes. Otherwise, you wouldn't maintain your equilibrium or sanity throughout the day. You have some sort of belief system or set of core values or behavioral patterns that make you who you are. And that's what you get up and look in the mirror while you're brushing your teeth, whatever the fuck it is. And you say, this is it. Let's go do today. Let's get after it. Regardless of your disposition, whether you love Mondays or hate Mondays. Sounds like you got a case of the Mondays. So an elixir it's a ton of ingredients going in, and then you, all right, I'm ready for the day. But what goes into your elixir? Is it validation on the internet? Whoa, definitely not, Pat. No, of course not. Everybody knows. No, this idiot. Why would you even say that? Anyway, hey, is the camera off now? All right, hey, yeah, I'll see you later. Okay, good, finally, everybody's gone. Jeez, how many likes did I get on that post? What about money? That's a common one. Money is very serious for most people. It changes a lot of our decisions, and it changes the trajectories of our entire lives. But is that one of the major answers? You hear tons of stuff about this. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it will buy you a boat. The obvious observation, if you look at money, is that there are poor people who are super happy. There are poor people who are super unhappy. There's middle class happy, middle class unhappy, rich happy, rich unhappy, hyper rich happy, hyper rich miserable, honestly. So maybe, yeah, I guess money isn't a clear answer. Oh, what about kids? Yeah, there are people with kids who are happy. There are people with kids who aren't. Shit. Okay, well, what about having huge biceps and fat glutes? I don't know. What I can say as somebody who's been working this industry my entire adult life is that insecurity and despair are running rampant with the people who look the best physically. What are the odds? It's almost like they started working out to try and get over some hump that without the other proper set of tools in their tool bag, they weren't able to get over. So ostensibly, building your body to look right isn't going to fix all your problems. Dang it. So let's consider some possibilities. What might be going into your Elixir every single day? I have a short list of ideas that might interest you. Maybe some compelling research or a documentary really changed the way that you viewed the world. Let's toss that into the Elixir every day. Maybe you were scrolling your social media and you saw someone like a Marcus Philly type who's like a literal walking sculpture. I should add as a disclaimer, Philly, by all accounts, is an incredible human being. There's 0% of me trying to rip him down. I think he's incredible. I just feel like I have to add that in case. Anyway, it's on the record. I love Marcus Philly. But anyway, you get inspired by seeing people who look great on the internet and you say, you know what, I'm going to find my workout routine. And then you start working out and you're feeling great. And you're like, oh shit, I'm feeling invincible. And you keep going, and keep going. You're getting stronger. You're getting faster. You're feeling better about life. And then there's that one fateful day, you do that deadlift and you feel that pop in your back. And you quietly set your bar down. And you're going right to the floor. You're hoping people didn't notice. I'm just going to lie here for a few minutes. Someone comes up to you. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm just feeling a little bit lightheaded. I'm a little dizzy right now. Yeah, I'll be fine. And then 45 minutes goes by and you're still testing that. You're like, no, locked up. And now you're injured. So then maybe are you going to take deadlifts out of your Elixir and supplant it with something else that eventually makes deadlifts not part of your routine ever again? Okay. Let's change it up a bit. Let's say you saw a poster in a dorm room in 2003 with some motivational quotes on it, or maybe you saw the same type of quotes on the internet in 2012. Is your Elixir plump with banal platitudes? Stick with me. I've got more. Let's just pull another one right out of my ear, right out of thin air that I've never mentioned before. Is this a hard-headed notion that this isn't good for you? That someone told you when you were a kid? Well, that has to be true. Toss that in the Elixir. Here's a huge one. The idea that science dictates the most ideal way to work out. Never do PNF stretching before you work out. It will decrease your force output. Hey, honestly, how many people on this planet actually give a shit about how many joules, newtons your pecs are spewing out when you bench? 1%? Even if it's 25%, is it a warranted, hotly debated topic on the internet? Is it helping people who don't work out? If your honest answer to that is, I don't give a shit if other people are working out, then fine. Toss that in your Elixir if it helps. But if you're somebody who wants to help everybody else get better and be healthier, then something like that's some form of like fear mongering and gatekeeping might not be best suited for your Elixir. Yes, the Elixir is almost full. We're getting there. Let's just sprinkle in some tidbits of out of context headlines. And can't forget those short clips. Yes. All right, here's arguably the most important one. Does your Elixir's efficacy depend on the chips on your shoulders? Hey man, the chips on my shoulders changed my life for the better. Good luck convincing me that those are bad in any way. All right, I guess let's toss them in. Toss in those shoulder chips. All right, we have an Elixir. Is it perfect? Probably not. I really don't know because I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am. But here are some things that I think we all know. Things change. The world around us shifts constantly. And the events that molded our path when we were younger could very well end up blinding us at a future juncture. If we don't take the proper time to evaluate the ingredients of our Elixir and we get to that juncture, we might take the forked path that's based on, well, I was told this as a kid, we got to go this way. The more time you take and think about that, the more likely a lot of your beliefs and core values are risking getting flipped on their head. And that's really scary This is not easy for anyone. I could barely sort through my old t-shirts. Like some of them are from high school and would never ever fit me ever again. Because I also would never, they were really tight. Because I wanted people to think I was more ripped than I was, you know? And I had to decide once and for all that these shirts don't belong in my dresser anymore. If that is difficult, then how hard is it going to be to remove or reconsider or revamp a compelling or indoctrinated set of beliefs or core values? I mean, maybe seemingly impossible at first, right? So to put the Elixir idea into a little bit of a simple perspective, if one of the ingredients in your Elixir was to be emotionally guarded every day because of a past trauma, then that's fine if that's what you need to do to like survive day in, day out. But you also can't be upset when people accuse you of being too guarded or too emotionally unavailable. I can't tell you to not be emotionally guarded. The only responsibility I think I would have is to listen and see if I can start to understand why you have that guard up. My personal Elixir has many ingredients, as should yours. And I would never almost none of the things that are in my Elixir would I force upon others. But if there's one major thing that I added a while back that has really changed the way I view everything, it would be something like this. When I wake up and accept that everyone I interact with that day is going to have an entirely unique and complex life behind the eyes that I stare into, my incessant need to search for answers just diminishes. And it's like, even if I knew where they grew up, how much they've traveled, what kind of trauma they've experienced, what sort of trauma they've processed, how happy they are with their bodies, how happy they are with what they eat and drink on a day-to-day basis. Even if I knew all of those things, I would be nowhere near understanding why they have all these different ingredients in their personal Elixir. When I see somebody in any given moment, I can't say that this is the wrong thing to do or the wrong thing to put into your Elixir. The best I can do is ask why it's in their Elixir and hope to understand. And if you do enough digging, you'll probably end up with an evaluation of, you are taking an Elixir that I probably would never want. And I'm probably taking an Elixir that you probably would never want. Because my Elixir does not fit your mold in that moment, just like yours doesn't fit mine in this moment. But just by the virtue of taking a lot of time and listening, what you can gain is maybe an ingredient or two from their Elixir that I'll now swap out into mine. And it could be this tiny seed of there was something that we always were just certain was right. And by swapping out a couple things, taking that Elixir for a little bit, we start to say, oh, wait a second. Is this not entirely right? When something like that happens to me, or if I observe it happen to someone that I'm close to, I just view it as like this beautiful moment of like broadening your understanding. Whereas a common notion is, wait a second, you're breaking down my core values and beliefs. This is devastating. I think the only thing that's devastating is if there's someone out there who's trying to sell you a cure-all fantasy grade Elixir. If you sip on someone else's Elixir, you risk losing sight of who you really are. You risk sipping on an Elixir that makes the monoliths of your old self fade away. And you're likely left with a shell of who you were just floating in this abyss of obfuscation. The topics of this season were chosen strictly based on things that used to blind me, still do, and blinds other people that are close to me in my life. The abyss of obfuscation, I really like that. I don't think it ever really goes away. And I think it's only been heightened by the internet age. But if you have watched any of my stuff, or I guess if you're just watching this now, and your like knee-jerk reaction to what I'm finishing this episode with and season with is, well, I'm not deceived by anything, then I think it's very likely that you are currently in a pretty deep part of that abyss. My content is for everyone, but it isn't generic. It's all close to me. and my life experiences. And my constant battle through my abyss was only noticed when I shut the fuck up and listened to other people speak.